Oh,
Oh,
intro.
Oh.
Yeah, even the intros had enough of this season. But yeah, we were back, people. Game week 37 out of the way. Newcastle 1-0 win. And we've secured second, as they're singing second again, ole ole, 3 times in a row. And as I said in my match reaction last time, I witnessed this as an Arsenal fan. We went on to win the double. And I'm telling you, Arteta and Arsenal could do with a double next season, that's for sure. But before talking about next season, we've got still much to discuss about what's left this season and what's coming in the summer transfer window. Big up James, Lee, Jordan, as usual, in the building. And yeah, first and foremost, how are we feeling?
Quite tired.
Yeah.
8 a.m.
Even Lee's had enough. 4 minutes late, he didn't even say sorry. He just came up and started talking about how he's got cramp and stuff. So
yeah, I noticed that as well, Turkish. I noticed that too. Just no apology, no sorry for being late, lads. Just
my bad. You know, when you could do with my bad here. You could do with my bad. But...
sorry, lads. It took me 4 minutes to get down the stairs. I'm sorry. I've had to crawl down the stairs. You know, I'm in a lot of agony. And the sympathy I got was, well, give it up, like, or you know what I mean, like,
retire.
Exactly what I got, you know what I mean. So your apology, you know, yeah.
Big up Lee Judges. He's won the quadruple, people, as well this season.
What up?
He's won it all. He's won it all.
12 trophies in 3 months is unbelievable.
They're only in 3 competitions. They've won 12 trophies. It's fucking mad.
Unbelievable.
Man, like, win every cup competition winning it this season is unreal, like, you know what I mean? So big up to the Wolf Mabby boys.
Who's your manager?
Mark Lords, and he's a manager, you know, that gets us over the line, you know. So listen, I'm going to celebrate. He had to make some real difficult decisions yesterday. And if they didn't come off, people would go like, you know, have a go at him, but they come off, and that's the different, you know, winning and losing. Sometimes you have to make fine margins. You have to make those decisions, whatever level. And the players that he picked proved him right, you know. So well done to Mark, well done to the team.
So he dropped you.
Yeah, buzzing to get 3 cups is a big thing. And the good thing about it is, like, winning last week as well. We knew we had to do it again this week, go again, and we did. You know what I mean? So brilliant.
So you're on the bench.
I've got a question, Lee. Was you like the Jorginho of the squad, like key older statesman, every now and again coming in, periphery, or was you the Rice, integral?
I'd love to be the Declan Rice. I'm more the Jorginho. Like, I'd love to. I actually watch Jorginho now because, like, he's the older statesman and the way he plays. And I come on. I was sub yesterday, and I come on and just kept things ticking around, like just doing the Jorginho role. I wasn't one of the controversial lefts out, if I'll be honest. But you know, I've done well. For a whole season, I think that's I've started every game but 3. You know, I mean, not all 3 cups. No, like, you know, so I've done all right. You know what I mean? So, it's just, you know, I do look at the manager and just think, like, you need certain players in certain positions and whatever, but like, you do need that little bit of, I won't say nastiness, but sometimes you have to make some really difficult decisions. Ruthless, that's the word. Yeah, and I feel at times this season, Mikel has played safe. PSG at home, safe. Right, when I think sometimes you have to be that little bit more ruthless, and that's what gets you over the line sometimes.
As we're talking Arteta, and we've been analysing his quotes, haven't we, quite meticulously for the last 3 weeks. He had quite a bit to say after yesterday's game. He was quite bullish, wasn't he? I don't know if you guys caught it.
Mm-hmm. I didn't actually. I've not caught up on it yet.
So some of the lines that stood out were, you know, we're now going to go to the beach, you know, relax, and hopefully the people upstairs do what they have to do. Thought that was quite on the nose. You know what? I can't disagree with it. He said it a few times. He said other teams in our position I've seen over the years would have collapsed, whereas at least we've maintained some kind of standard. I'm paraphrasing, but that's essentially what he was saying. You know what? He's not really wrong. I don't think the season's been good enough, but I also agree that others.
I think that wound me up, James.
What's that, Lee?
That when he said that, it wound me up.
Go on.
Because he had the opportunity in January.
Well, that's the problem. The problem is that we could have made all this so much better. And actually, yeah.
Do you know what? If all those injuries would have come in February, I would be backing it and understanding it. But 2 of those injuries were December, Jesus, and the only one that weren't was Havertz was afterwards. All the others came in a window where we could have done something. So for him to come on there yesterday, I thought was very, very. It annoyed me. It annoyed me. You know what I mean? Like the fans sort of backed him. You know, like unbelievable. I've got to say, you know, there's been a lot of arguments about him and all that. Like he's gone. He comes into the stadium like yesterday. It's like I honestly thought it was Arsene Wenger in there when he just won the trophy and all that. Like, you know, going mad about him and all that. Like, you know, I'm sorry, you didn't get us over the line again. And as much as I want him to do well and backing him and all that for next season, I felt that you know, it was trying to get the sympathy card, the injuries and all that. Like, I'm sorry, the injuries, yeah, but you had an opportunity to do something about it. You done nothing. You as a manager done nothing. The club done nothing, and you just let us fans just still carry on paying and hope. We got to a semi-final. Credit to them, and second in the league without any forwards is an amazing achievement, James. It really is. It's an amazing achievement. But what if they'd have done something in January on the back of what he's doing as a manager and managing that team to get there? I feel, again, missed opportunity, and I feel a bit let down by it. I can't lie. I can't lie.
I agree completely with everything you said. I just felt that was a message to his players where he was sort of saying, look, like, you know, you guys didn't get the help you deserved. And I'm appreciating your efforts. But you know what? I'm sort of realizing the contradiction in what I'm saying, because I remember post PSG, I felt it was important he got the right message out to the fans. So I don't know. I think he just came out quite bullish, and you know what? He's going to be around next season, and I kind of want him to have a bit of sort of fight and anger about this season in him. Hopefully it translates in the summer, and hopefully, you know, it translates in next season. But, you know, I think, I guess what he was saying can both be right, but then you can also ask how much of it was self-inflicted, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't heard the full thing, but you know, it was very much, you know, along the lines of be a bit more patient, ups and downs, and you know, we've had things that we've had to get over and so on. And then, you know, I like the whole, you know, they need to do what they need to do. Maybe that signifies the change that we all thought might be, which is Berta's got a bit more power than Edu has, because Arteta's never really entered the summer like that. He's always kind of owned the summer ahead. This one, he's very much saying, I'm about to go put some sliders on and hit the beach. So these lot need to. So maybe there is a shift in. Maybe he doesn't like it. Maybe that's why he's mentioned it. Or maybe he likes it. Maybe he knows he needs it. I don't know what it is, but would have been. I mean, we know what we need to do next year. Win. Would have been nice for him to at least. I don't know if he did say it, but you know, acknowledge that we need to win now. Because last year was don't be satisfied at the end of the season. This one is very much be a bit more patient. You can't go from don't be satisfied to be patient. We need to win now. I'll just take it with a pinch of salt. I know Rice pretty much said similar as well in his post-match interview with Sky Sports. Not similar as such, but you know, we're going to lose some players, so we're going to get some players in. A player shouldn't have to do that, but at Arsenal, I like it, because you know, it highlights that players are also thinking like we are about the last few windows. So as much as Arteta might, some of the quotes might be for the players, he's also played a part in going into this season so light, accepting it, owning that part of things as well. So hopefully there is a change there. There's a realization that it was a terrible way to go into the season. And it's the realization that we cannot do that again. Otherwise, jobs are on the line if they're not already. But yeah, Jordan.
Yeah, man. Lee mentioned the word ruthless earlier on, right? And you've just referenced that after the game, Rice and Odegaard were addressing the crowd. I've said before, I don't massively care about who wears the armband because I think football requires captains all over the pitch, right? So it doesn't matter that much to me. But do you think there's any chance this summer he might give the armband to Rice next season?
No.
If we're talking about him being ruthless, making changes, Declan Rice done a lot of press in this last 6 months. He's done a lot. And do you think sort of thing where he might say, look, Martin, you've been great. I think we want to give the band now to Declan Rice. And Odegaard's sort of person that strikes me, sort of guy that'd be like, okay, that's what you think's best for this team, then fine. I'm not happy about it, but if that's your decision, cool, I'll hand it over. Do you guys think there's any chance he gives the armband to Rice?
Do you know what, Jordan? It's a fantastic point, but I think it could be a bad thing. Do you remember when Steven Gerrard went into Aston Villa and he changed Tyrone Mings and all that? It's not a good look. It's not. If he leaves, it's a different scenario. But I think taking away the captaincy from someone is not a good look. It's not a good look. And
I agree. By the way.
I get what you're saying about it. It would be a ruthless decision. It could be a decision that would maybe win you the league, but it's a decision that might not. And listen, that's what fine lines. It would be a real fine line decision where it could be the turning point or not. I don't think it would be the best thing for us as a football club, if I'll be really honest.
It has been an extraordinary amount of press though from Rice. And then he's the one who gave us the Real Madrid moments. He's the one who got the equaliser at Old Trafford, got the winner yesterday. He was sort of one of the players that stood up against PSG.
And there's no doubt about his place, James.
Sorry?
No doubt about his place in the team.
Yeah, and I think maybe there's a world in which he's made vice-captain because Gabby Jesus... Is Gabby Jesus vice-captain? I think he might be,
I don't know.
I think
Rice
Jesus,
I think yes, is he?
Jesus, Jorginho, and
Gabriel, wasn't it?
Maybe. I think there's a world in which Declan Rice has made the vice captain, and maybe next season, if Odegaard's not starting games, and you see Rice wear the armband more. But
I don't think he's ever captained Arsenal.
No,
Declan Rice,
I don't think he has.
I don't think so. Maybe once. Declan Rice.
I don't think he has. And what about Saka?
Yeah.
Saka captains us quite a bit. Why wouldn't he be? I'm just saying. I'm just linking what Lee said about changes next year. He's got to go. He's got to be a bit ruthless. And I'm just seeing Declan Rice do a lot of Arsenal presentation, a lot. And I'm just wondering if there's any kind of world where Arteta thinks, you know what, you're my new guy. But I agree with you, Lee, that I don't think it's a good look to change your captain.
Yeah.
Change your captain, you got to sell the captain. You got to sell that player. You can't keep that player in the dressing room. But I just wonder if it's something that Mikel Arteta might think.
I think you can keep the player in the dressing room, man. I think it's the way you handle it, the player's character, and I think Odegaard's the type to take it on the chin and understand, because I think it's quite evident what he lacks that we want in that role, and I think Rice has got it.
You guys,
I don't think he's a bad captain, by the way. Sorry, I don't think Odegaard's actually a bad captain. I just think I'm thinking what Arteta might be thinking. Do you know what I mean?
You guys won't remember this, but Kenny Sampson was captain of Arsenal, won the League Cup, and the following season, George Graham gave it to Tony Adams, and Kenny Sampson wasn't there a year later. And Kenny Sampson was a fantastic footballer, by the way, fantastic player. I don't think was a proper leader. I think they give Kenny the captaincy because he was the best player.
By example, yeah.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? And then, obviously this proper leader come along. A little bit like this situation, if I'd be really honest, you know what I mean, where Tony Adams was a proper leader, and they don't, and Kenny Sampson wasn't at the club that much after that. So I would worry about Odegaard's future if that was to happen.
Yeah, he's the outstanding candidate for me, and I think you can do it in a way, because I do think that you know, at the highest level now and in the biggest of games, Odegaard has been exposed a bit in that role, let alone his own positional role. I mean, in the role of captaincy. So it could help him.
That Declan Rice is world class.
Yeah, I think so.
I think he's awesome.
Years.
I just think he's awesome.
I think
captain or not, it's just what a player. That goal yesterday is sensational. Sensational.
I remember when this first became a subject after Real, Mikel came out, Rice came out with the PR around, you know, Odegaard is a good captain and whatnot, and Arteta, which I don't disagree with. I think he's done a good job up until now. And Arteta said, you know, Odegaard's qualities reflect the club's values, right? And that's such an easy thing to say because it's all about that whole, you know, nice, humble, classy and whatnot. But where's the heart, the fight, the desire, the passion? You know, that's what he's lacking. That Tony Adams had in abundance, that Patrick Vieira had in abundance, that most title-winning captains have. You know, and I think that's what Declan Rice has. Now, I agree that it's a difficult situation to manage if it's being entertained, and I don't think it will happen. But Rice, if there's anyone that I think embodies what a club captain should be, it's Declan Rice, and I'd go Gabriel next. I don't think Saka's someone that needs that role. I've never looked at Saka and said he needs to be captain or he should be captain. I'm happy with the way he is. He doesn't need that added pressure. I mean, look how people compare him left, right, and centre anyway. You know, giving him the captaincy could, I just don't. And a winger, I'm not really on that. I like a central player being captain, CM, DM, centre back type of player. But yeah, I mean, I don't think it's going to be entertained. Like Arteta said, off to the beach and on to the next one.
For what it's worth, I think Odegaard, the last 3 games has been slowly getting there. I think Bournemouth second half, he was pretty appalling, but I thought the first half was good. Obviously, played that lovely ball for Rice to put us 1-0 up. I thought at Anfield, Odegaard did fine. I thought he was involved and started to look like himself, shooting better. Obviously, one of them leads to the goal. Was kind of doing his thing. And then yesterday, I thought again was better. Listen, there's nowhere near the levels of Odegaard we've seen. I mean, I thought last year his performances were out of this world, especially in that run in the second half of the season. But he's slowly getting there. So credit to him, and hopefully, you know, continues to. Well, not continues to. We've now got Southampton. Hopefully, he just looks sharp in pre-season, and that all the players we bring in, hopefully it's a few, lift him. Hopefully, he benefits from Zubimendi coming in. Hopefully, he benefits from, you know, forwards that, you know, just yesterday and in the second half against Liverpool, there were rotations. It was Martinelli up front, then it was Trossard at times, it was Saka, and that is only going to help an Odegaard. Looking up and seeing different people making different runs, giving him different angles, giving him a different weight of pass. You know, Saka at times was dropping more central. And I love that because that meant Odegaard didn't have to be in that space. He could float around more. You know, when we talk about fluidity, it's not just because we just want pretty football and it's all nice. Everyone benefits from it. Everyone feels that freedom and it's like they've got less weight on their shoulders and they go play and express themselves. And Odegaard, you know, I think all of us in our critique of him this season have maintained that we still think he's a great player. None of us have been like, get rid of him. You know, he's finished. It's never been that. We should to rediscover it somehow. And with that, the conversation of the captaincy will then naturally move away. And we'll leave it all in the past.
I think it's a great point, James. And I think like one of the questions I get asked a lot by people outside the ground and all that, like, what do you think of Odegaard's performance today? What do you think of Odegaard's performance? And he was okay. You know what I mean? And I thought like he
done
was
okay.
Yeah, he was done okay. He was better than what he has been in the last few weeks. I think there is a slight improvement in him. Like, you know, what he needs to do is to have a good summer, get himself on the beach, then come back, good pre-season, and we go again with him. Like, you know, but I also agree that, and someone said yesterday, let's see what he's like when he gets a proper centre forward. Someone that holds the ball up properly, like, you know, someone that brings him into play a little bit more, like, you know, and then
someone who makes runs in behind would be lovely. Oh,
runs into those goals. Exactly that, runs off of those channels afterwards. So I listen, I still think he's a wonderful player, and I tell you what, his work rate again yesterday was exceptional. I've got to say that. I know people say that's a given, but you know, not all those sort of players go through those sort of spells and continuing working hard. You know, they sort of like get dropped because they're not working hard and all that. He does a shift defensively for the team. He does. He works hard.
Just needs to fix up on the other side of things next season. Big season for him.
Yeah, massive.
Another season like this one. We're not talking about taking the captaincy off him. We're talking replacing him completely. I'll be honest with you. That's the level we're at now. That's the level we're at. We ain't got time to be this. This is not a nursery. This is not. We're not raising babies here. It's time to win the most elite competitions in world football now, and a few players need to rise next season from what they've been producing this season. But again, leaning back on the quotes, I think Odegaard, a couple quotes, he seems the most bullish about next season. We have to win, which I appreciate, because that's what I would have, liked to have heard from everyone, because it is the fact next season we have to win, and the accountability is there on that one. So yeah, on the game,
who was the most bullish about that? Odegaard. I haven't seen those quotes. Okay, fair.
Yeah, well, I've read the quote from him saying that next season, something about success is a must next season. I forgot the word for word quote, but that's exactly what it is. It's not breaking news, but I mean the players and the manager, that's what I want to be hearing, because that's what it comes down to: success.
Yeah.
But yeah, the game itself, I mean, I guess we were lucky Isak wasn't playing, because that first half they were opening us up quite a bit. But the second half we controlled, we dominated, nullified them, but in turn nullified ourselves. It just took a Declan Rice screamer, you could call it. I know it didn't go top corner, but it was still a very well executed effort, something of a trademark of his, becoming a trademark of his, and very welcome, because it's refreshing to see a player hitting it from outside the box, and he scored a few now, whether direct or from a free kick or open play, and it's another beauty. Reminded me of the West Ham one, like I said, just not top corner, but across it, curling away, far post, beautiful. And that won the game. After that, it was pretty. I mean, apart from the little handbags here and there wasn't really much else in it.
Can I go first in this one, guys? Because I seem to have seen the game, as usual, quite different to a lot of the people that I've been speaking to this morning and last night. I wasn't impressed. The first half, I thought we were so lucky. Yeah. I thought we could have been, at best, 3 down. I mean, they had 3 goal-scoring chances, and I would say a couple half chances. That first half was absolutely unacceptable. It was so bad. And there's a theme running. The 2 themes running this season for me that I've been banging on about all season are: we don't create enough chances, and we give away too many cheap chances at home. I don't know what it is about being at home. We just give away so many cheap goal-scoring chances. And I go back to 2 seasons ago where was it 2 years ago? Yeah, 2 years ago, I think it was, where we were the opposite. You had to fight to get a chance against us. That kind of trinity of Rice, Saliba, and Gabriel, you just weren't getting through it. We weren't conceding goals, but we weren't even conceding chances. And now there's just too many games where teams could be scoring 2, 3, 4 chances in a half, never mind a game. It's not good enough. And the second half was better, and we got the goal, and I think we were more dominant. But I don't think we necessarily created, lots and lots of goal-scoring chances. A few half chances, 1 or 2 good chances. I don't think we were good yesterday. And I'm looking through yesterday's game with the prism of next season. And I'm looking at how we played. And I know we'll make signings, there'll be changes. We're miles off it in terms of winning the title. We are miles off it. And of the 2 teams, if you said to me, of these 2 teams, who will do better next season, I'm saying Newcastle. I'm saying they lost a game, but I would be more enthused by next season by what I saw yesterday if I was a Newcastle fan. I know we've got Gabriel out, but let's not pretend like Kivior's not been brilliant since he's come in. Gabriel's not been missed. He's not been missed. So that doesn't almost count in a way.
No, we miss him, but we miss him, which exposes what you're saying even more, because we miss him in the attacking box.
Okay. But even Kivior has got a goal.
And a nice header at that, yeah.
Yeah, so even...
He's done really well, Kivior. He's done great.
So people can't tell me that Gabriel's been out. No, we've not missed Gabriel, sort of thing. Oh no, it's no Kai Havertz and Jesus. Come on, let's not do this.
Aye. He's broken all the metrics in the last 10 years, Jordan. I won't have a bad word about him. Yeah.
Hands
Thank
up.
you, Turkish. I'm
He's
glad you're
faster
on
than
board now.
Walcott. He's faster than
Glad you're on
Walcott. He's
board now.
stronger than Xhaka.
He's looking a bit wham as well.
He
He's
jumps
been that
higher
give.
than Gabriel.
He'll go down easy, though.
Everyone said this.
He went 1
Sorry.
in 5 in duels after the whole. Oh, I get him.
I'm just making the point though that I don't want to hear about their best player was missing yesterday, and they still created 4 or 5 good chances to score goals. So I guess the point I'm making is that I wasn't impressed by yesterday's win. I wanted to win the game because second for me is still important. So I'm glad we got the win, but I was not impressed. It's not good. David Raya's kicking in the last 2 months has been atrocious. It's been atrocious. His kick in the last 2 months has been so bad. The flirter, again, just nothing game, meh from him. Saka, all right, we give Saka a little bit of a pass because he's back from injury and we'll see the season out, but nothing spectacular. Odegaard, fine, not great, not crap. Nothing. Trossard I thought was lively and better, but this isn't the level. I'm looking at the games now through the prism of winning a title. And there's too many performances that I'm looking at and thinking to myself, these guys aren't it, or their performances aren't it. And for people to be saying, oh, first half bad, but second half really, really good. I'm like, no, we were dominant in second half. But let's not pretend like over the 90 minutes, they didn't create some really good goals. Which I just wasn't impressed. And
you know what, Jordan, I do make you right, but I'm going to say this now. I think Newcastle are one of the best teams I've seen play this season.
Yeah.
I've been so impressed with the way that they play. Like they could have been 2 or 3 up. We could have got a goal here, so their goalkeeper makes a good save from a corner. But the way that they play, they've got a couple of players missing. Joe Linton not playing, who's a big player for them. But they've got some decent squad players that come in. I think if they were to spend 2 or 3 players, I think they're in with a shout because they're an organised. They're a very, very difficult team to break down. Organised, well coached, and they have the killers up top. And they weren't at their best going forward yesterday, but they've still got it still causes problems. And I think that they're a very, very good side. In saying that, the problem with Arsenal, again, is all the possession and you're walking off at half-time going, we've had all the possession and they've had the 3 best chances. It's got to change. But I do think with Arsenal, and you look at it, and I do sympathise with Arteta a little bit here. Saka's nowhere near at the level that he was before he got injured. Nowhere near. He's not going to, he's done fantastically well to come back, but he's not beating players for fun like he did, get cutting inside. Still does it. Still looks like he's got it. But we know, you're 3 months out or 4 months out of a season. You ain't going to come back. I think he's done remarkably well. And it's a, testament how good a player he is. We haven't got anything going forward, boys. You know what I mean? Like Trossard, I thought was very, very good yesterday. But how many times you get brushed off the ball? You know what I mean? Come on, you can't be having that, And as I say, I think that Martinelli worked hard. He looked much better when he went into more of the centre forward role. But we need that revamped up top. None of them probably will start next season if we have our own way. Maybe Martinelli, definitely Saka, maybe Martinelli, but I think that we need to improve.
If he starts, Lee, when I'm winning the title, I mean, I know everyone in the comments and people that follow me think I've got this massive. I don't have an agenda. I watched the game, and it's not hating on the flirter.
No.
I just think to myself, even if he gets better next season, does he win you a title? I'm like, come on, guys.
2 years ago, he looked like the guy who was doing the most to win us a title.
No, I hear that, but
yeah, it's swung.
But I think next year, as Turkish says, next year we have to make those changes to go up another level. And it's not just him; it's Odegaard as well. I'm looking at our front line. Does this front 4, even Kai Havertz, even if they're all better, are they good enough to win a title? Let's get real. Does Martinelli win you a title?
The thing,
the proof is no, because in the last 3 years we've come runners up. So, but they're good enough to be involved, and there's a difference. I'm not saying that they're going to have to be, but these guys who have to be there and thereabouts, whether they're starting or coming on off the bench or squad players, but they're going to have to be involved. But I do think that We need that. We need that centre forward. It's like listen, Newcastle are a very, very good team. They don't win that game yesterday, probably because we've already said it. Their centre forward's not playing, but they've got him. They've got him in their ranks. We haven't got that. What you see yesterday with Newcastle is what we've been like all season. Very, very, very good, but a little bit blunt. And we've got to address that. It's got, you know, and I'm sorry, like, you know what I mean? It's all right, Arteta saying I'm going on the beach. Before he gets on the beach, that's got to be sorted. So that he knows what he's got, you know what I mean? Like, the minute his feet hit the sand, he should be getting a phone call saying, like, by the way, we've got what we want.
I do think that perspective is so interesting, though, because we're all talking about Newcastle and how great they are and what they've done. And look, by the way, top 4 in a trophy this season. They've had a better season than us, but that win put us 5 points ahead of them in what's been a really bad season for us. I understand about the direction they're going in. I understand. And by the way, I think they've got brilliant firepower and a great midfield. I think they've got a really exciting future. But I think sometimes it's a bit like, because we've not hit the levels that we expected of us this season, let's not forget that we are a good team as well. You know, we haven't got to where we're not doing what we wanted to do this year, but we are far from a bad side.
We're a very good team, James. Sorry to cut you, but I think a very good team is a champion team. That, do you know what I mean? There is another level, and I just question if a lot of the players, not just Martinelli, a lot of the players, they make a very good team that can compete.
Yeah,
in the league, and I've cut you off.
But no, you're right. I'm looking at the coaching now, because Arne Slot came in having never managed in the Premier League before, and he didn't just take, you know, Salah, Van Dijk, Alisson, Trent and deliver a title. He reinvented Gravenberch. You know, he got another level from him. He got another year out of Robertson. You know, he got Diaz, Gakpo, whoever he needed in that front three, Jota, Nunez, just to complement what Salah was doing in the best way possible. He tweaked the tactics, gave them a little bit more control. You know, he tightened that back forward just a little bit, but ensured that there was still the kind of flair and energy and excitement. We've talked about Slot a lot of times on these podcasts. The point I'm saying is, would it surprise me if, and by the way, please understand, I want a left winger. I do. Just know that. Would it surprise me if we signed a striker and suddenly Martinelli looked class again? Like, it wouldn't. Would it surprise me if we signed a proper in the pockets number 8 and suddenly Zinchenko looked like he could give us something? He'll go, by the way. But what I'm saying is, a lot of these players that we kind of think aren't at it, you know, but I thought Xhaka wasn't at it for 6 whole arse years. And then in the final year, he was like one of the best midfielders in the Premier League. You know, you tweak a few things, you bring a couple of players in, and the levels of all these players will go up. And suddenly you go, you know, wow, you know, that better players bring another level out of others. And, you know, Arsenal need to add a lot of players, but the big thing they also need to do is find a way to get more out of the ones they've got. Odegaard, Martinelli, whether they are starters, squad players, whatever. By the way, Odegaard will be a starter. You know, we need their levels to come up as much as we need just new players to come in and be brilliant. But that's on Arteta, and I think you add these players and you'll get that. So I'm still, when all is said and done, I want Arsenal to be ruthless, but I completely acknowledge that there's more to come from what we've got. I think I'm there with a few of these players, not all of them, but some.
I probably disagree. I think Saka's shown enough that if you take attention away from him, you get a better player. And that's saying something, because Saka's already our best attacker. I haven't seen it from Martinelli. I just don't see the confidence or intent anytime he gets one-on-one with a defender for me to think if you take attention away from him a bit, because there's been barely any attention on his side for the last 18 months and he still hasn't excelled. So I just think there is a few players here where I believe for where we was, perfect. For where we are, it's time to start, you know, thinking past them. And I think Martinelli in a team that's quick in the transition becomes a better player. But I just don't see Arteta ever move into that, because throughout this season, it wasn't just the plan B I wanted before Real Madrid. I would have liked us to maybe find something else in October, November, when we started, you know, falling behind, when we needed to, you know, figure out how to play without Odegaard in the 10 because we didn't back ourselves up well there and stuff like that. So, yeah, I mean, I do think that it makes the bench more healthy. That if Martinelli and Trossard are on the bench next season, coming off for Rodrigo on the left, then you're a lot more stacked in that position, right? And then that's another role that Trossard's done very well. We know, 12th man, 13th man, maybe Martinelli would do well, but at the same time, 23 years of age, consistent game time. Would he be happy with that? Maybe for a season. If you're not happy with that, so be it. Many a great team. I'm sure Wiltord wasn't happy with his game time when we won the league in 01-02, for example. Or I'm sure there's players in the great legendary sides that weren't happy with their game time, because that's what a great player should be thinking. Like, I'm not happy being on the bench, but it's about filling out there's two obvious positions, striker and left wing for me. I do think what you said about Martinelli and Zinchenko applies for Odegaard here, in my opinion, because I feel like if you give him a couple more attackers that are not so much come to feet, clunky, maybe not as confident as they should be, then hopefully you get a better Odegaard, because you'll have more runners off him, more attention away from him. The midfield won't get as concentrated as it does at times in attack, because our players are all shifting about all over the gaff. We'll just have players just one direction towards the goal. I trust Odegaard to pick it up a bit, even though I'm worried there with Martinelli. Nah, I think I just haven't seen enough.
Can I just challenge the idea as well about the Flirter potentially being a squad player, right? And off the bench, he could be an asset. Because
I want you to stop saying Fleur. So even just for that reason, I think maybe we should just sell him, because
I don't know. I just can't.
It's worse than what was the Xhaka?
He shan't be named.
Yeah, that's it.
Called him Voldemort for 2 years. It's unbelievable.
My point was going to be, if I thought he was an asset off the bench because 20 minutes to go, his pacing behind and his threatening behind is an asset, I'd be like, yeah, that's a massive weapon to have off the bench. But how often does he run in behind anyway? I don't think even his strengths, and this is partly to blame. This is partly Arteta to blame. I don't fully blame the Flirter on this, right? But the things that he's good at, we never see. So whether you start or off the bench, it doesn't really matter. So I'm like, we might as well just sell him and cash in, because the things that he actually is good at, we're not seeing. The thing that he was really good at when he first came through was he'd get the ball, head down, he's burning you, gets the byline, cross. Doesn't do it anymore. Or if the ball over the top, one-on-one, you don't want it with him because he'll beat you every single time. We don't do that. So even off the bench, Turkish, I'm thinking to myself, in what scenario do you bring him on to try and win a game? To take on a player and win a corner? To touch it, and pass inside?
To come on against tired legs. To dart on the inside and the outside, to track back, to see out a game. I see a lot of value in Martinelli later in games, personally. I just, the big problem is predictability again. Maybe the reasons always touching it, struggling to beat his man is because it's the same pattern. It's the same play. He looks up, there's no one around him. So by the time he's realised he's got to take on a fullback, it's kind of too late. He's run out of grass to run into. And, and look, I know I'm making excuses because Saka doesn't have that problem, but then I think he's maybe got a little bit more help on that side. I sit in this in between of, I've come to the conclusion Martinelli's not good enough to be starting week in, week out, to be relying on him, but I don't think he's as bad as the kind of review of the season for him.
James, you're so right what you're saying, and please go back and watch it. Like, there are times when we're so deep in defending. When he gets the ball, there was 3 times yesterday. It goes out to him. There's no one 50 yards away from him. No one 50 yards away. What can he do? If he beats the man, he's got nowhere to go. You need to be making him more in danger. I think that, we've got to change the style a little bit. Like, keep saying. And it's funny how you've got players like Martinelli, Odegaard, Saka not so much, and we're going, well, we need to make them better. Why? Why do we not make them better? Because maybe it's the system and whatever, of a way to play. Make these players better. Make a system where it suits Martinelli or it suits Odegaard. Not like going, oh, we've got to do this and doing that. And I do think there is a little bit like, look how deep we are at times. And listen, to play in this team at Arsenal, you're going to have to be two things: durable and bloody fit, because you have to put in a lot of hard graft.
Yes,
and I think with our back four, and as good as it is, I think that's also got to be looked at and said, you know what, I can trust this a little bit more. Step up 10 yards. And we can defend a lot better. Like, you know, we don't really need Martinelli. We don't need Trossard. We don't need you coming back in there. I see Saka yesterday, like, you know, I know Ben White's struggling a little bit, like, you know, having to play sort of like a second right back at times. And then, you know, he's not 100% fit. And, you know, you know, like but you're still expecting him to do that work. So when you get into the areas where it matters, and he's not bursting past players, I'm thinking, oh, that's not because he's fit. You know what I mean? Maybe it's because he's done 60, 70-yard runs back and forth for the last 5 minutes. I don't know. I think things have got to change. The manager's got to change. And at the end of the day, as you said 2 years ago, Martinelli was sensational, right? Well, why isn't he now then? There's something that the manager's doing and all that. I think the manager's got to have a look. We've got to have a look at the manager and say, look, right, he's got to get the better out of these players, because these forward players have not been as good this year. And the reason they're not being good this year is because we tinkered with the system and become this more cautious team. I'm sorry, like, you know what I mean? Like, give these players their wings.
I agree with that.
Without Red Bull, preferably. I don't think that's on the diet plan, but yeah. I mean, is there anything else to take from the game? We've talked about Odegaard's captaincy. We've talked about the upgrades on the left-hand side. We all know about the striker situation. I think maybe next show we save maybe player ratings, season ratings and all that before the Southampton game, to fill that show out a bit with some more in-depth thoughts or analysis on the players.
Can I add, Turkish, that I think ultimately, you know, Newcastle are a good side who've won a trophy this season, who, had they beaten us, would have gone ahead of us. It's a good win. I agree with Jordan. Ugly first half. Second half was more controlled. And I genuinely thought Calafiori did well when he came on. Him and Lewis Skelly started to get on the ball and actually keep things moving for us.
Do you know what's a piss take, though?
What's a piss take?
You know, this whole year of the underdog thing, yeah? It's actually quite true. Like Newcastle, Carabao, Crystal Palace, FA Cup, Liverpool, Premier League, PSG or Inter, Champions League. Yeah. For the 1 year, the one fucking year in the Emirates era, we're not the underdog. The 1 year, we're not the underdog. They all go and win it.
Yeah, so true. It's actually so true. The 1 year people went, "This is your time, Arsenal." And I'm thinking, what?
The expectation.
Yeah. You know, there's me go, well, Gary Neville predicted us to bottle it 2 years ago. Now he's predicting us to win it. It's going to happen, surely. No, it is typical.
Big up Crystal Palace, by the way. Big up Crystal Palace.
Oh, just so deserved.
So deserved.
And guys, look, you see Mateta on that first goal. What were people saying about Mateta 2 years ago? This is kind of what I mean, guys. Like, you know, you can get so much more out of these players. They've made a professional Premier League football, and let's learn from that. But yeah, unbelievable. And yeah, that was a side that got slapped by 5 against Man City only a month before. They tweaked, they learned, they went again. Come on, Arsenal.
That's my second team. I want to give them some props as well, because I was down there at Wembley, and whenever you see teams that win an FA Cup, they're always emotional. There's always a shock, and there's tears and rare tear. But this felt different because it's their first trophy. This felt like the amount of people I spoke to who were 50, 60 years old, 70 years old, that were like, I've been following Palace for 50, 60 years. You know, my old man used to come with me to Palace, and he's passed away now, but I just, you know, wanted him to see his team win a cup, but I've got to see it. It felt different. It really felt different. And I won't name names, but there's some teams out there with fan bases that I just think are pricks. Whereas Palace fans, they're good fans. I don't have any. I mean, maybe I'm biased because I'm from that way, and they're my second team, and rare. They're just good fans, and you just thought to yourself, they deserve something. They've had a really good year. They've waited 2 cup finals. They've lost to United. They've got a good team. They have got a good team, a nice, solid top 8, top 10 Premier League team, I think, and to crown it with a trophy. They beat Villa in the semi-final. They've been some decent teams to get there, and they didn't fluke it. It wasn't like a hit and run. I know City dominated the second half, but I thought they deserved it. And that goal they scored, look at the goal they scored from front to back. That's football. That is football, man. That is football. And Eze finishing it off. But I'm so happy they won it. I'm so happy. The parties in South London, I was at some of them. They were lit. I
saw your story. Where did you make it out?
I went to one in Brixton. Nice. Then I went to one over in Peckham, and then some bar over not Greenwich, but like Plumstead way. Yeah, we had fun. South London turned up. Trust me.
So I live in Clapham, but I was in Camden that night, so I must have avoided all that.
No, it was fun. It was good fun. So yeah, big up Palace. They deserved it. I'm really happy for them.
Yeah, agreed.
Jordan leaves every season with something. If it's not Conference League West Ham, it's FA Cup Palace. He leaves every season with something.
He's on a parade somewhere, isn't he? He's on a parade somewhere.
Another parade. I'm going to the Palace parade next week. I'm going.
Next season he'll go. And do you know what? Big up Port Vale. I've always something about that club. We'll see it with the parade with his top.
The parade was lit.
If Spurs win on Wednesday, I might that one.
No,
I'll swerve that one. That's a no. That's too far. But everybody else, I'm happy to be invited.
Watch Channel 4 send him to that parade.
He'll just be there with the microphone. Just
pissed.
Just furious.
All right, cool. All I'll say is avoid Kenya for a little while, Jordan. I'm
going in 3 weeks.
Oh, Cecil must be going in 3 weeks as well, but yeah.
Hang on a minute. Before we carry on.
Idea what's going on?
He doesn't have no idea.
Hang on a minute. I'm at work yesterday, Lee, and then I'm just doing my work, trying to pay my rent, mind my business. My phone's going absolutely batshit crazy, like texts, WhatsApps, calls. But I'm working, so I'm a professional, right? I'm like, what's going on? Ryan calls me and says, "Oh, we're gonna dial you into the live watch along." What's going on? Cecil now comes on the phone saying something about Kenya. What? I don't even know what's going on. And I hear Turkish and Jane in the background giggling like two school kids. What happened? What's going on?
There's just a picture out there that I mistook, and yeah, my eyes ain't what they used to be, basically. So I wish I had it here ready, but I actually don't.
Did he put it in the group? I think he put it in the. Yeah, he put it in the group.
Yeah.
What's going on? So for the viewers.
So that's Cecil having a massage in Kenya.
But it was on the screen in the back, in quite in the distance, and I'm squinting at it, trying to understand the full complexity of the picture. And I said, "Is that Jordan?" And then from there, everything went left. And then
you're wrong, Turkish. You're wrong,
bro.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
The best bit about it all was that this probably went on for about 10-15 minutes on the watch along while Newcastle were peppering us. And I think Turkish said something like, "And Jordan goes to Kenya a lot, you know." There it is. There's the photo. I mean, had to blur it out. It's outrageous.
Oh, was his thing out?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Wow. And you know what's funny, Jordan? You ended the call with, "I'm always in Kenya."
Yeah,
that's when he hangs up.
I get. No, you're wrong, Turkish. You're wrong.
Also, he made the comment, and then within 2 minutes, I look at my phone, and you go, "James Turkish, my phone's blowing up. What's going on?" Absolutely fucking killed me.
Oh, I get it now.
Done for 10 minutes.
No, you lot are wrong.
Go watch
This is scandalous.
A poor man just at work chilling, yeah, and he's just getting slandered.
I'll tell you what, they've done you up there, like
they have.
You know, I actually thought it was you.
Oh, is it Jordan?
Why have they blurred out the middle bit on Cecil's legs?
Because his whole His whole
See,
No
Johnson
one
back.
let me come out, did it? Is that true?
Yeah.
Like, oh my God.
What kind of
Jordan.
parlour was this?
The cameraman had to leave. That's all I know. He had to leave.
Have you ever known a massage like it? I've got to say.
You know what Cecil said? The woman whispered in his ear saying, "Can I stretch you?" And Cecil said,
Wow.
"Yeah." And the next thing is in the walls of Jericho. And then someone in the chat said the walls of Jordan. Oh,
Oh, no, that's wrong. That's wrong. That's wrong. That's wrong. That's wrong.
oh my God.
Move on. Let's move on. Let's move on.
It
Yeah,
was
let's
it
move
was
on, like, you know what I
fucking
mean?
funny. I
Can I,
was
can
in
I
tears.
stretch you? No, what a question. I'll be like, hold on a bit. Like, what do you mean? Can you stretch me? Like,
I just
what
want to know
part?
where Robbie was. Where was Robbie? Like, you know what I mean? Like, is it honestly-
He was in the other room. That was a bit more expensive, that room, mate.
No cameras in there, though.
Nah.
Can I just say, though, on that note, can I just say, I will be in Kenya in 3 weeks and Ethiopia. So all my Arsenal fans in Ethiopia and Kenya, come and find me because I'll be there touring the land and doing the thing. No massages, no parlors,
No
none
stretching.
of that nonsense. No stretches. Come and let me know whether I can watch some. Well, there'll be no Arsenal games to watch, but let me know where the Arsenal pub is, and I'll come and find you.
Just to round it off, because we ain't got no predictions, we've got congratulations to James, who, with the point, has secured himself a back-to-back league title, second league title, second star on the board. He has equaled mine, so this is the last show where you'll see me with 2-star, James with 1, because he'll have 2 by the next time the show's live.
Oh,
Big
thank
up,
I
James.
get it. I get it by the next show.
There's only one person still not got a star then. Is that right? Like, yeah.
Yeah,
I've
he
got to
tried his
say,
hardest
valiant
this
effort,
year.
Jordan. Valiant effort. 10
Thank you.
correct
It
scores.
was the year of the underdog, they say. What a load of old
50.
crap. Right,
It's typical, isn't it? The Arsenal and Jordan. The one year we bottled it. Any other year, I'm clear. This is an outrage. This is an outrage.
No, this was Liverpool and City in their pomp, going blow for blow up to 97, 98 points. Congrats to us.
I did start 1 year late as well. I'm 1 year behind you guys.
12 predictions right, James. That's very good.
That is
Thank
good.
you so much.
That is good. That is good.
More like Leicester Tottenham year, really, than it is anything else. But
It's rude. That's so rude.
We've got to make some. Me and Turk's got to make some signings in the summer. I tell you.
yeah, no,
What to do?
you got to get
We
back
got work
into it.
We ain't on the beach. I'll tell you that now, Mikel. We got some work to do. Like, you know.
You can need to watch Tactical Insight, Lee.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to start.
You have
I'm
to
gonna have
tune
to
in.
start doing something.
Wow, try to stay awake. You've got this.
Oh, mate. Get Graham on speed dial.
Yeah.
I'll ring Graham, like, you know what I mean. So,
Hi,
Every
Graham. I know I've been
month,
slagging off
agony.
your show for years. What you think of a Villa at home on the weekend?
yeah.
Go on.
For the audio listeners, James has won the league, 56 points. He's 3 ahead of Jordan on 53, but he's got 12 correct scores to Jordan's 10. So the best Jordan can do is equal, but he would lose that on goal difference. Lee's third, 39 points. I'm fourth, 37 points. I mean, if you needed to know that. Now
Is
you
it a
lose.
record? That 56?
It must be.
Probably, yeah, probably.
I think so. I'll take it. I'll wear it with
You
honor.
know, you know what's going to happen, James, don't you? I'm going to get it right on the weekend, and you're going to win it on goal difference.
I'll take it.
Take it.
Of course you will.
Pop in
the wire.
Job
champagne.
done. Job done.
The wire.
Yeah. I want a
All right.
crown. I want a trophy. What happened to those spoons? Do you remember Lee rocked up and gave me some
Yeah.
little spoon, taking the piss? Where's that now?
Well, I'll tell you what, since you got that spoon, the inspiration's there for you, isn't it? Like,
It's
you know what
true.
I
I
mean?
kicked on. I used it.
Use it as
fuel.
inspiration, like, you know what I mean? So,
Yeah, Turk's gonna find it now.
Yeah, the spoon's somewhere here, man. I've got it, man. It's amongst all this. Yeah, somewhere, man. Don't worry, man. So I got this though.
What am I looking at?
I thought Lee might like it. Oh, you can't see on the camera.
Not focusing. Oh, there we go.
what is it?
You don't know? Yeah,
No,
only
Aston
fools and
Villa.
horses.
Oh, the old three-wheel van.
James is looking at what the hell is going on
The hell
there.
is this?
South London's finest, Jordan.
Right. That's right.
That's
Peckham in the
right.
house.
Yeah, fine.
They produced the Trotters and they produced Jordan. South London finest.
James wants his spoon. We're all talking about Only Fools and Horses. On to the next one, people. On to the next one. Comments of the day?
Sam, we're not doing predictions.
No, next show. Do you listen? Or
Oh yeah, sorry. You said that. You said sorry.
Oh, sorry, I haven't got.
The Crystal Palace celebrations really done you in.
I haven't got a comment.
I do think next pod we should also think of any I don't know highlights of the season from the pod we've had, because I still think Jordan going. When I said Jordan come to Box Park for Real Madrid, and you went, "When's that?" That was
yeah.
That absolutely.
Gold.
And the way Lee just went, "Oh, for fuck," and then Dirk ended the pod. That was gold. That was absolutely gold. Anything, just he'll never beat the allegations that he doesn't watch games. Only to go, yeah, when is it? biggest game in 20 years.
That's not what I meant as anyway.
I know.
You know, if someone out there that's really tech savvy and has a bit of time on their hands, can they just do a compilation?
They've done it before. They did it last season.
Yeah,
really good.
Yeah.
I remember we all watched it. We put it in the description, I think.
We did.
Yeah, that was class. Yeah.
I haven't got any comments, but I just wanted to mention that I got people didn't like my Watkins defense in the comments, and they didn't like.
They're not happy.
They misunderstood my 15-goal claim as well, but that's what the comments do.
I did say that you got a little bit of stick to be fair.
Well, it's all right. But I do want to do a shout out, and I forgot where I met him, and I only remember his name because I said to myself, think of an app on your phone, and the app is Shazam, and it's Shazard. So I've forgotten where I met you, Shazard, but I said I'll shout you out. Big up Shazard, big Arsenal fan, wherever I met you over the weekend. Big up you.
It's worse forgetting where you met someone than their name.
I can't remember where I met him. But
How? Like, where do you go day to day to forget where you met someone? Well, actually, Palace celebrations, West Ham. Yeah, it gets messy.
It might have been Wembley. Yeah, it might have been Wembley. But forgive me, Shazard. Big up you. Big up you.
Don't well mention that name.
Yeah, he did. He said the app Shazam and then remembered it like that, forgot where he met him. But yeah, I've got one from Hugo saying 13 goals versus 38 league goals. How is this a debate? We need to win now. Buying potential. Are we Brighton? I love that. Nice, isn't it?
Well, we will, yeah.
Yeah, on that note, love for the love. I think that's it. No?
So one more before, we'll do a pod before Southampton, yeah? That's the plan?
Yeah, man. Let's say Thursday, Friday morning, something like that.
We'll review yeah, because I think post Southampton, it's going to be straight into transfer stuff, isn't it? Yeah. I mean, I've just seen Romano tweet that Kirkes and Liverpool are in talks, and they've replaced Trent like that. Kirkes getting done. They're in the battle for Wirtz. United are signing Cunha. City are in the Wirtz stuff. We've got Zubimendi. It's good. Honestly, we're going to fly straight into it for every club. This window is going to. It started. So yeah.
It has started, and Liverpool are the front runners so far. 2 fullbacks, nearly over the line, and they've already won the league. But we will talk when we need to talk, and that'll be just over a week away, or just under a week away. And we'll be back before Southampton. We'll have a little player ratings for the season episode, and we'll just touch in on Southampton with a prediction. Not that even matters, because James is the champion of the 24-25 season. Big up James, big up Lee, big up Jordan. Individual channels, you know what it is already. Hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. Love for the love. We'll see you again soon. Peace. We're out.